beautiful evening, a beautiful being. Today I'm going to take you on a very special space journey to relax very deeply. And while you're relaxing, this will be a journey about an astronaut who is trying to find his higher self. And you will simply embark on this relaxing journey to float through the stars and feeling completely weightless, but at the same time you will discover your highest potential and how to live from that. You will meet your higher self, and you will also find that you are greater than you can imagine. And what I just said, that you are greater than you can imagine, the real meaning of this statement might be different than you imagine. So I hope you'll get yourself surprised by finding these deeper truths that are only being found. It's actually not an astronaut, it's a detective. It's an astronaut detective who will be finding this. It's your inner detective looking for this higher self that is, under normal circumstances, actually really hard to find. And so I will help you with that tonight. And before we jump into the universe, I want to invite you to join my Instagram today, because I will start posting a little bit more on my Instagram, a little bit more for my life, a little bit more inspirational videos, and soon I will be making a completely free online course for writers. So how to write, not only how to write a book, but how to also make it on autopilot, get your clients, if you have some, write your radical book, write a book that is not overwhelming, that's enjoyable, and that's actually 10 times quicker. You can write it 10 times quicker than you think with this radical book freedom method that I've been developing over the years. And at the same time, you can do all of this for free. Not only that it's for free because of the course is for free, but also without spending any monthly fees. This really took me so long to figure it out, and so I'll be talking about more. So if you ever had an idea of writing a book, or if you're a guide or coach or something like that, then definitely join my Instagram, also for other things as well, inspirations, and that is at Kisper Olivia. And now I'm going to invite you to join yourself, to really arrive into this beautiful present moment that is and has been created just for you to be in it, and find a very comfortable position, because today you are going to embark on a very important journey to find your higher self. And so imagine you can close your eyes and let them open, and just they will close whenever they want, because they have mind of its own. And the most important thing is that you simply have soft vision. You become soft inside, and you start imagining this whole scenario in your mind's eye, in your imagination. And that is that you are floating in space, completely effortlessly, just floating as a feather. Imagine there is no gravity, complete silence. You're far, far away from all the trouble, from all the people, from all the obligations, from all the pressure about how you're supposed to be in this world. You're just far, far away from all of that. And in that, you're allowing yourself to simply float as a feather, being very soft, without the need to go anywhere particular. Because today, you are the space detective looking for your higher self. And you came all this far because you could not find your higher self on earth. You know it has to be somewhere much higher, somewhere much further, and you came this far. And as you are floating, without the need to move, simply letting yourself being floated, you're looking for anything suspicious in the space, and you just see these distant stars and galaxies and Milky Ways, and you notice one star that looks a little bit familiar, and it almost seems like it's coming a little bit closer to you. It's coming a little bit closer and closer, and suddenly it says to you, "Hey, I am your higher self. I am the one that you've been looking for all along." And so you feel a sense of excitement. This is so beautiful. It's a star, my higher self. But before you start even talking to your higher self, you notice there is another star, even further, even higher, that's also coming a little bit closer to you. And notice that you have to do absolutely nothing, making no effort. Somehow all these stars are just being really attracted to you, coming to you. And so even this one says, "Hi, I am your higher self. I am the one that you've been looking for." And so now you feel a little boosted. Not only that you found your higher self, but you have two of them. That's just, what a luck. I mean, you couldn't have hoped for anything better. And just before you have a conversation with your second higher self, you see a huge star, which is actually very small because it's so far away. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you know it's coming closer and closer, and it's looking at you, and it's observing you, and it's got a very friendly energy. And it also says, "Hi, I am higher self. I am the one that you've been looking for. And before you even start reacting to this, because you are so in disbelief, you'll notice that there is many stars in the distance that are very small, but they're all now becoming bigger and bigger. And before you know it, there is one by one until they just come all closer to you, which means that they must be really going very, very fast just to meet you. And they all tell you, hi, I'm your higher self. I am your higher self. I am your higher self. Hi, I am your higher self. I am the one that you've been looking for all along. I'm your higher self. I'm your higher self. Higher self. Your higher self. Higher self. And you almost get overwhelmed. So many higher selves that you have. How will you choose even the one that you really wanted to speak? How will you ever find your highest potential when this is so overwhelming? And so you decide to simply just relax and see what happens next. And as soon as your body is relaxed, just floating without any tension, your belly is relaxed, your breathing is relaxed, just as if you were in a complete trust of the universe. That kind of level of relaxation we're talking about here. Something magical happens. It's almost like that trust that emanates from within you is so great that it causes the whole universe to quake. And suddenly the whole universe, the entire everything, quakes and quakes. And before you know it, there is this big explosion of everything. And everything just collides into everything else and just becomes a big, huge splash of everythingness. And everything just gets pushed together, splashed to each other, until everything, I don't know how, but everything simply becomes one. And there is no you, because now everything is one. No separate parts anymore. Just like drops in the oceans, when they come back to the ocean, you won't find them anywhere. It's just water. So now there is just this, I don't know what to call it, splash of just everything and nothing. And you're still feeling relaxed, just without any sense of being separate from everything else. And somehow a tiny little voice appears out of nowhere, of course, because there is nowhere else to be. And this tiny little voice that appears out of nowhere, because you're not there anymore. And it says, I am your higher self. I am your whole self. If you think that you have a higher self, what would that make you? I am your whole self. And I am not separated from you. I am not somewhere else than you, and I am here to remind you about your greatness today. And then this magical voice that sounds like angels and violins and singing flowers, it continues and it says, your greatness is greater than you can ever imagine. But most people imagine that their greatness is something beyond, something obscured, something they have to find, something even greater than their imagination. But that's not true. Your greatness is greater than what you can imagine, because it is not part of imagination. It is simply what happens in reality. It's something you don't imagine because it simply is. And it's not anything greater than your imagination. It's simply found in the unexpected. And so today I want to invite you to find one thing that you are really great at in your life, in reality. Something that you normally don't think about. Something perhaps that you have done today and it was great, but you completely ignored it. You didn't notice. You didn't think about it. One thing that you did today that was actually great can be very small. Without any judgment, there is no small or big greatness, because it's all great. And it doesn't come from you because you have just disappeared. It comes from the universe itself that is doing its workings through you. So do you have one thing? Just notice and just acknowledge yourself. And now I want you to find one more thing that, remember when you were at school, what did other kids or teachers think that you are great at? What did they secretly admire you for? Just find one thing, anything that comes to your mind. It can be anything. Do not compare to anybody. What could it be? And again, this greatness doesn't come from you, it comes from the whole universe, from your whole self that is doing its workings through you. Got one? And just notice that perhaps this kind of greatness was present or is still present within you these days. Perhaps somehow forgotten or dismissed as you are comparing yourself to something different, something that is greater than you can imagine, or to other people, or when you're comparing yourself to the past version of yourself. Without all of these comparings, all that is left is just your greatness in everything you do. If there is nobody and nothing to compare to, everything you are and everything that you do is already great. And with that, you're simply relaxing into this unusual knowledge. May you accept it or not. Noticing perhaps a voice that tries to convince you about, well, there is something different, a greater potential that's awaiting for me. Notice that all that you are is already present. And sometimes it lies in the unexpected, and it lies in all the things that we don't notice. Just like when you're in a new relationship and you ignore all the red flags. Sometimes we also ignore all the green flags. And we only see them when we look at our lives backwards. We see that they were all there. We see all our greatness. That all the potential you're looking for is already present, but it might not look the way you want it. Because, and only because, you are comparing to something different. Without that comparison, there is new opportunities already available. There is your greatness that's uncomparable to anything. It's so great that it is all that is, and as such it has no comparison. It's a magic, miracle, and trying to be anything else according to your cultural dream, an idea, comparison is only limiting yourself in your natural greatness that is perfect exactly the way it is. And the only thing that takes you away from it is a thought, an image in your mind that compares it to something else. So let yourself being floated through the space in your own greatness. Feel that perhaps, maybe, there is nothing missing. When there is nothing to compare to. Feeling trusting, relaxed, present, feeling held, inspired by nothing particular, without the need to know where this is going, floating in your own trustiness, supported and held and loved so deeply that only deep noticing can re-notice, because it's very deep, like at the bottom of the ocean, covered up by judgments and assumptions and expectations. When we look beyond those, it's just love, acceptance. Love is simply being without the need to control anything or anybody, including yourself. Gecko concludes your meditation. And so I wish you a beautiful night. Let me know if you had any spontaneous insights, thoughts, or suggestions in the comments. And I will see you very soon.